Oh my goodness. Who said April Fools lasts for 7 days? Todd Bowley. I honestly wanted to be like, is this like an April Fool's prank from Fabrizio again? Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Lampard and Chelsea. Oh my goodness. This is the first joke of the day. I'd like to welcome you to the Football Power Hour with Botswanapapi. And I have a very, very special guest today. I'm so excited. We're going to preview the Everton game and also talk, obviously, a little bit about the Brentford game that we won by 1-0. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to just say, without further ado, you are welcome. And I also want to just say, welcome to my friend, Maisy. What's up, Maisy?
Hey there, thanks for having me on. Hope you are well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am well. I mean, I'm just having a chuckle because, the London Cowboys keep entertaining us, don't they?
I was shocked. I must be honest, I was really shocked because the way that Frank Lampard was treated by the Chelsea fan base, and now they're very open armed with him.
Incredible. Incredible scenes. I don't know. This Premier League is just so crazy. You can't script it. The way managers are being fired and the only person I'm waiting for is for Oli to come back to a Premier League dugout,
Don't think he
Because
will.
yeah, you don't think?
No.
No. Oh, he hasn't been rumored with any job. Or maybe Club Rouge, actually. That's the latest thing that I've heard. But I haven't heard about anything with cause yeah. Cause Club Rouge is they're hiring as much as many other teams. Chelsea's hiring, etc., etc. But forget Chelsea. We're talking Manchester United today, and I just want to just take us back to the game versus Brentford, and we scraped it with a 1-0 victory.
Mhm.
How did you feel about the game and the performance and the result?
I think compared to how we played in the previous game against Newcastle, there was definitely improvements. I think I, I think dropping Weghorst was the best thing to do because we had a lot more
Right.
pace. But I
Mhm.
still think overall we could have been a lot better with our finishing. There was quite a few chances there. What Brentford had, what I think Manchester United should have really prevented from happening.
Mhm.
Um, but I do think some of the players played brilliantly. Sabitzer, for me, he was probably the player of the match.
Ooh,
I'd say he
Marcel
was.
Sabitzer.
I think he was the best. That was his best performance in a Manchester United shirt, and I think if he
Okay.
was to play,
Mm.
he can't play when Bruno's on the pitch unless Bruno moves to right wing or an 8, because that's where
Mm.
Sabitzer plays as a 10. So it's either we'll have to wait till Eriksen's back for him to play there, or Bruno will have to play somewhere else because I don't want to play Sabitzer in the pivot.
I hear you, Macy. Speaking of number eight, before as I'm trying to, pull up the spreadsheet that I always do when we're doing our grades and performance reviews. I just want to also say a big shout out to Eddie in the building. Lateness is greatness. Big up Power Hour and Macy.
Hey,
you
Ada.
know, lateness is greatness. That's how that's how it is. Shout out to you, Fidele. Watching us on Facebook. Make
Hey.
sure you also hit follow us on. We have a Facebook page, by the way, Football Power Hour. That's the Facebook page. So make sure you check it out too, Fidele. If you're watching it from somewhere else, but almost as I woke up, but glad you woke up. Shout out to you for tuning in. And to everyone reading this, I'm an R&B singer and will wish to be followed by you. All right. Sing us a song first. Sing us the Ten Hag song. Shout out to you, Stasha. Anyway, talking about number eight, Macy, I want to just ask you a real quick question. All right, you have only one eight to pick between Sabitzer, McAllister, we're rumored with McAllister, the rumor mill right
Mhm.
now is on. McAllister, Kudus, in case we always raid Ajax like we always do, or Mason Mount. which eight are you taking and why? As I'm setting up this, go ahead and think about that and tell me which number eight are you taking?
That's a very good question, and I'd probably have to go with Sabitzer because you look at, for instance, mine Odegaard at Arsenal. He did a loan spell first. His loan spell wasn't brilliant. He signed
Mm,
on a permanently, and he's become their captain. He's become, I'd say, one of the best players in the Premier League this season. So I would take that risk on Sabitzer only for 20 million as well. Mason Mount is 70 mil. McAllister 61 mil. I've never seen McAllister play deep. He plays
mm,
in Bruno's position, so it's a matter of who's going to be playing there. Is he going to be more of a bench option? Mason Mount is quite versatile. However, with Mason Mount, he demands very high wages as well. He rejected 250k off Chelsea. And if he's wanting 300k, as we've heard, and we've been heard the reports that we're gonna be having that wage cap, why should he be paid the highest wages at Manchester United?
true, 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 true,
Who would you
true.
take?
I'm leaning also a little bit like with you towards Sabitzer because if you look at it also, Sabitzer has already spent time learning Ten Hag's system and acclimating to the culture, so it you're already buying those weeks and hours already of education that have been put in, so it's a matter of Sabitzer building off of that. So I would go with Sabitzer. As much as it pains me, I want Kudus though. I want Kudus, Maisy. Kudus, if you saw him for Ghana in the World Cup, you would know that he was the metronome. He was the person,
Mm.
like he literally, especially on the attacks, and he would be deployed on many different positions and he would excel. He's so refreshing as a player. It makes me very excited what Ten Hag would do with him. So I
The
would go with
question
Kudus.
is though,
Yeah,
if we
yeah,
was to get Kudos,
yeah.
he's plays at Ajax, so how much do you think he'd be worth for Ajax if you're seeing Lisiandro being for 60 odd mil, you're seeing Anthony for 90 odd mil, you're gonna be spending big yet again.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's gonna be big money. It's gonna be big money, but it's one of those things, Macy, that we are hoping that the ownership situation is sorted out, so we don't have to be worrying so much about that, and it's more about like playing within the financial fair play restrictions that are, that would be the thing to just like worry about. But we're not worried. I'm looking forward to a new era for Man United, so that like transfers were not on a budget again, and looking at Worgos type strikers and
Mm.
looking at like third, fourth choice players that are not really world class or don't have the potential to be world class. Snoopy G says Anthony needs to be sold so early. Snoopy, Snoopy, oh my goodness! All right. We'll get to Anthony when we talk about his performance versus Brentford. Let's just start with David De Gea, and I'll update the lineup as we go. So David De Gea, real quick, had a clean sheet. What do you make of his performance? What grade do you give him, and why?
I'd give him a C. I know we got a clean sheet, but the problem is that he made several silly mistakes in the game, what lead for Brentford to having chances. There was one in particular, it was Brentford's number 9, and he done
Mm.
like his distribution for me was quite poor in the game. I think he was better than what we've seen, but I still don't think he was up to scratch for me, just because of the chances that the errors that he was making was leading to Brentford's chances, even though they were saved. Them kind of mistakes needed to be cut out.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. The thing about it, Macy, I also gotta say, is C feels like it's a little harsh because here's the thing: if you have a clean sheet and you're gonna be judging on distribution, he did have. He has. I'm gonna make a case for De Gea. Has if Sancho had been a little bit faster, De Gea would have got an assist. De Gea had that long ball. You remember that, like
Yeah.
Sancho pretty much got, and then also Raya, on the other hand, also did have a few distribution errors, but Raya's
Agreed.
rated highly, and obviously, yes. De Gea's holler, that one nearly where Ivan Tony nearly scored. That would have been a gift. But
There
I
was
just
about
wanted to
three
say
different
he's a person
places.
too. Go ahead, go ahead.
There was three different ones. There was that one who come off the bench as well. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But there was
Uh,
he's like a German lad who's currently on loan to Brentford. From January. In January, I think he's from Frank Freiburg or
Da-
something.
Damsgaard? No, no, not
No, it's
Damsgaard.
not Damsgaard. He's a German lad.
What position does he play?
He plays as a striker. Let me just find his name. There he is.
Sh-
Kevin Skade.
Skade, yes.
Yeah.
Skade, yeah. Or Shade. Yes, yes. Him. Yeah. He had a few sniffs. And like that he was the one, the likely person to score if anything from the Brentford side. And but anyway, but so okay, all right. Can you resettle on a C plus, because I believe
Yeah, we'll do a
Raya,
C plus. I'm
Raya,
happy with that.
Raya also had mistakes, and
Agreed.
De Gea had a clean sheet, and it's just so harsh to just get a C when you have a clean sheet. One goal, I imagine. Okay, all right, cool. But anyway, all right, cool. Luke Shaw. How was Luke Shaw's performance for you?
But Luke Shaw didn't play too much though, did he? To be fair, I think he come off in the 23rd minute because I think if he had an injury, I think it'd be probably unfair to rate him.
Yeah. So it has to be a what? As
I'd have to probably give a C, just because he
C.
didn't. He only played what like 23 minutes, so I think it would be
Yeah, it was
unfair to
really
rate him
short.
low.
True. Okay, all right. Martinez.
Martinez, he played very well. Very aggressive in terms of the defending. Made a couple of good uh, tackles around the box and some of the Brentford corners. I'd have to give him a B plus.
Yeah. And also he yeah, I agree with you. A B plus, I feel like that one. I feel like that's a fair grade. His passing also from the back was still helping us, like, get the ball to the midfield, and and that kept our some of our build up play alive.
Mm,
And he's one
yeah.
of the people, like, it always goes to, sometimes it's Varane, and then it goes to like Dalo, and it comes back, and then Martinez, when it says yes to Martinez is always like, all right, I'm taking the initiative, and usually the ball lands, and he actually had a very, very impressive game statistically as well. But let's go to Varane, his partner.
I think Varane he was probably the worst out of the two, but I think the problem is with Varane is he's a very progressive centre back, which I think is brilliant, but he was going too far forward for my liking in the game, where I noticed he was going further than what the midfielders were. Sometimes
Hmm.
that doesn't always help, but I think he did get the job done, and because he's very quick, he was able to track back very quickly. So I go with probably a B minus.
Yeah. He did keep Ivan Tony quiet as well, and just commanding presence as usual. All right. Yeah, I feel like a B minus is a fair one. Presence. All right. Let's go to Dalo.
Mm. I've, this is what the problem is. Every time I think badly of Dalot, he's always living to my expectations.
Yeah.
Um, he was probably the worst player on the pitch as well, if you want me to be honest.
But here's the thing. If I'm gonna make a case for him, I'll just be like,
Yeah.
Dallo was
Go
was was that person that was very, he had a very much, this is the best performance from him, relatively speaking, compared to ever since the day he was cooked by Said Maximum in the Carabao Cup. Like, he's just been struggling, and like this performance, like, I have to differ with you and say, like, I feel like, relatively speaking, it's just like a little bit better. It's like
Here's
he
a
didn't have any
question for you.
howlers. Go
Here's a
ahead.
question for you though. So with Anthony, he trapped back a lot more than usual. Do you think that's
Mhm.
probably helped Dallo in that case?
True. You saw a lot more defensive display from Anthony.
Mm.
Yes, because Dallo is there. That is true, and that also ends up limiting Anthony's game too, and making him worry a lot defensively about where he needs to be, etc. But like, yeah, but like judging just the performance, though, we just want to just like say just
Mm.
with how many, so because he didn't have any like crazy howler in moments that I remember. If I forgot, please remind me.
I
But
can't think of any, but I know that the most of Brentford's attacking did come from his side as well.
true,
I'd say
true,
90% of them did.
true. Okay, so
I'd
Dallo
say probably a C minus.
C minus. All right, all right. I feel like that is um yeah, okay, that's cool. Hold on, I wanted to also just flag almost comment. He said he distributed the ball properly. The players didn't go for the ball. Talking about David De Gea, and that kind of supports that Jaden Sancho point that could have been almost a goal right there. Shout out to you, Snoopy, by the way. Shout out to you, Omo and Jordan. Appreciate the comments and everybody that's tuned in and the likes on Facebook. To Lady Dickinson, thank you so much, everybody. Make sure you also get involved in the conversation too. The comment section is always open for you. So anyway, Dallo is a C minus, and what about Scott McTominay?
You know what? I actually think that was Scott McTominay's best game post international break. Um, he actually played very very well, and he actually stuck to where he was supposed to play, the midfield.
True,
Um,
true,
you know
true.
what? I'm gonna probably rate him the same as what I've rated Varane, probably a B minus.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. With McTominay, had he scored that chance, that volley,
Mm,
you
yeah.
would be Man United's new number nine. We would be wanting him over our Workhorst any day. Like he would just in terms of the rankings, and at least for whenever we're like thin again. Hopefully that doesn't happen until we're done with the season. But the thing about it is like I feel like I agree with you. He had a pretty good performance. It's just like moments of unluckiness where he
Mm,
and defensively
yeah.
too, he helped out a lot. It was a very
He
interesting
tracked back
game.
a lot.
He tracked back, he made that last stitch like block. So okay, B minus, I feel like is a
I never thought I'd be rating Scott McTominay a B minus.
yo. So okay, let's go to Marcel Savitzer. How do you feel about Savitzer's performance?
Um, best player on the pitch for me.
Mm,
He was best game in a Manchester United shirt. I think as well what I really liked, it was just a shame for the wall, like he actually took a set piece. And I think that's what we really need to do every time Sabitzer is playing. Let him do the set pieces, but we only had one.
mm.
So um but I'd actually give him an A minus just because I do think he was the best player.
Ooh. I didn't think you were that gonna be that generous. No. A minus. That okay.
You've got to give him higher than Martinez though. That's the only problem because he's
Definitely. Yeah. If Martinez gets a B plus, he gets yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, you know what? He got an assist, and it's not even like
yeah.
an
It
easy
wasn't an
assist. It
easy
was a
one either.
clever assist where three players were swarming towards him, and he knew where Rashford was. So no, you're right. You're right.
Do you know what I did really like about Sabitzer? I think that I'm not saying none of the other players do, but he does have a very high football IQ. It feels
Mhm.
like he is ahead of the ball, and there's not many players who you can look at and say they're ahead of everybody else. Like we used to say that about Paul Scholes. I'm not comparing him to
Yes.
Paul Scholes uh, by, by any mean or anything because Paul Scholes is always going to be a legend. But what I mean is that he's always ahead of the other opponents, and that's the kind of player that you do need, especially in the
Exactly.
midfield.
Hmm. And I love the fact that his boots are all explosive. They're always feeling like if he has a sniff at goal, he's gonna challenge the goalkeeper with a long range. That has bite, with that kind of shot. So yeah, Sabitzer, please keep that parking spot and and make it permanent. Now let's go to our favorite captain, Bruno.
I'd have to go for a C plus for Bruno. The only reason
Mm,
why I'd go a C plus is he played deeper than what he usually done, but I just don't think it suited him. He was restricted in terms of his creativity. Not that it is his fault, but when you are playing as a box to box midfielder, you're expecting to keep possession of the ball.
mm,
And that's something that Bruno didn't have. Again, he made some silly mistakes, and when you play further up the pitch, it is something that you can get away with. But I just think from what he did, from what his job role in that game was to get possession, bring the possession into the final third, and I just didn't
mhm.
see that much there from Bruno.
Wow, Macy. We saw
I
a
love
completely
Bruno.
different game. I saw the first half, I saw a very stellar performance from Bruno. That's what I thought. I thought he was very economic with the ball. Every time
Hmm.
it got to him, he would do the thing where he somehow finds a passing lane, even though the passing lane was not necessarily like connected to it'd pass into a space where a Man United player would be able to run. But there were a few moments where I was like, you could have kept the ball a little bit more instead of like making the quick pass that you do, because he's that, trying to be efficient with it, but it from a deep position, and that doesn't always mean first on the first touch of the ball you have to get rid of it. And but we only saw like one or two Hollywood passes from deep. I didn't see many attempts. I didn't see like more
Hmm.
than three.
I
Correct
think
me
for
if I'm
me
wrong.
though, no, I don't think there was any more than five probably. But don't get me wrong, I do.
Took it up to five.
Don't get me wrong though, I do
Okay.
think
Yeah.
that it was just based off his position, and I just don't think he suits it. Um, and
Yeah. Well,
if that's gonna be the case, and Sabitzer plays in the 10, Bruno can't play in the 8. It'd have to be Christine Eriksen.
okay. Okay. All right. So if
But
we're
if you
gonna
think
say
higher, we could go higher.
no, C+, but the first half was great. The second half he faded out and offered very little. So I would go B-, C+. So matter of fact, it was the same as Scott McTominay. It's a B-. It's a B-, Maisie. Bruno is he you know what I mean? Like
I feel sorry being partnered with Scott McTominay, I must be honest.
that was the but yo, what do you feel about Ten Hag's comments? He was like McTominay, Sabitzer, and Bruno worked well together in the middle.
I think they
He
did actually work well together. They knew the positions and they knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
I think probably that would be probably our best midfield. The way he set it up. Um, so yeah,
okay.
I agree with his comments. I think for me, I love Fred, but I just don't think he'd be able to work like that with um just because we know how Fred can play in a defensive midfield role.
True. All right, let's keep it moving to Marcus Rashford. He finally kind of quenched the little drought that was about to sort of like
Yeah.
start. And but how do you feel about his performance um in the game?
Uh I'd probably go dead on a B for Rashford. Just because he scored the goal. It was a great goal. Um I'm just thinking of other times because the majority of the shots they did come from Antony from out wide, and
Mm,
also Sancho. He was doing better. I know we'll go to Sancho. He was getting better to go into the box, but I just think with Russia, he didn't have too much opportunities, in my opinion. I
gotcha.
think I think knowing that we don't have a striker proper, I would say Rashford is probably better up top, but I don't think that's his best position. If you get what I
For
mean.
sure. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, that's why for me, it's I just love Rashford on the left. you
I
know,
do.
when he challenged what's his name? I forgot the fullback's name, but whenever he's on the left, you just feel like he's in his element, and there's something magical about to happen. Let's go to Anthony real quick. How do you feel about Anthony's performance? He provided the pass to Sabitza's head.
He did. He did.
So
I think he done a lot better defensive duty wise. He helped
yeah,
Dallo out massively.
yeah,
I think at time to time he was very greedy, where he could have passed it, but he'd rather take
yeah,
the shot,
yeah.
and that's what does irritate me a bit with Anthony. Is that like just pass the ball, please just pass the ball, like
I
some
know.
and watching his games, I can understand why he doesn't cross
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
isn't a good crosser. So I'd expect him to take on a man and then try and do a low deep kind of ball
Hey,
to.
I gotta tell you, Andy Cole's words of it might have been Andy Cole. I might be
Mm,
mistaken, but if you're a striker and you're playing with Anthony on your, to your when he's playing on the right wing, and you pretty much know that you're not gonna get a cross from his weak foot, and that's sort of like limiting already a certain type of goal. How do you feel about that?
I actually think he's right, and people said that Anthony should get tried on the left wing because he's obviously left footed, and maybe
Yeah,
that might help his game a lot. But then under the same breath, we've got too many left wingers. We don't have anyone who can play on that right hand side, and we
true,
know that Ten Hag likes them inverted wingers where they play on opposite sides.
true.
But I think for me, if he was gonna do that, Sancho would have to go on the right. But I haven't seen a good game of Sancho on the right, and that's what he was bought for.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. You are tapping onto something really, really important right now. And I feel like Anthony, he with the ability that he has to create a little bit of space for himself, if he was doing the dances that he does with the Dan Burn and everything on the left hand side, and then we're able to set up, overload the far post, we could actually create some dangerous attacking opportunities if he was on the left. That's really, really interesting. Anyway, so I think for me his performance is something around C plus B minus. I
I
don't
was
know
gonna
what.
give him a little bit generous with the B minus, just because with the B minus he did do a lot of tracking back.
True,
Um,
true, true.
he did also as well as you say
Yeah.
that key pass. So um, but yeah, apart from that, um, I wouldn't rate him any higher because he still could have done a lot better.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's one of those things where he's on par with Bruno, but is not as was not as good as Rashford in this game. Let's wrap it up with Jaden Sancho.
Sancho.
Ah.
It's a shame with Sancho because we know that Sancho's had a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I don't think Sancho still didn't have his best game, but when you're looking at his game at Borussia Dortmund, he's never took any players on either. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like we're expecting to change his play, but we wanted that Sancho. Do you get what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I think probably it did help him a little bit when um Malacia came on. I think he improved a little bit there. I think he
True.
had a much better connection with
Oh.
Malacia.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. He's speaking facts right there. He's speaking facts right there. When Malasia came on, there we saw a little bit more life, a little bit more confidence. Also, as well from Anthony himself. We became a little bit more alive, but he just still couldn't beat a defender. Yeah. Oh no, Anthony, aka Mr. Can't beat a defender, says Kush. Sancho can go, Anthony can go, Weghorst can go, Fred can go, oh, McTominay can go, Maguire can go, Lindelof can go, and Dallo can go.
He isn't wrong.
That is amazing right there, Kush. All of those I certainly agree with them. All right. What are we giving Mr. Can't beat a no, Jaden Sancho? What grade? What grade are we wrapping it up on with Sancho?
I'd have to give him a C, or maybe a
Yeah.
C plus, maybe.
Yeah, it's a C. It's a C. It's a C plus. You know, it's a for me, it's one of those things where it's like, bro, this is a missed chance for you to assert yourself and show us what you can do, how you've recovered, and as you said, you know, we haven't seen him beat a defender, or we haven't seen the dazzle that we used to see in Dortmund. That's really what I want to say. So, it's
I think the thing is with the Premier League, it restricts
yeah.
him from doing all the tricks and the skills that he could do at Borussia Dortmund because there's a different kind of caliber of defenders.
Still though, Maisy, it feels like, you know, that guy that I struggle to pronounce his name, the guy from Georgia who plays for Napoli on the left,
Yeah.
Kivicha.
Oh yeah, he's quality, absolute
Yeah, his
quality.
quality. You see, he's got skills, but he also fights. He also puts in a physical
Agreed.
battle, you know. But with Jaden Sancho, I just feel like he's too neat of a player. He's the type of guy who would have a very
You know
clean
what?
jersey at the end
I
of the
think
game.
what the
What?
problem is that we overhyped it for so many years to wanting him at Man United to say he's the best winger in the world and stuff like that, and then now we've got him, it's not the expectations that we wanted. So I think maybe the whole hyping as well hasn't helped.
You know, but you know, as a Man United player, you gotta know there's gonna be hype and no
It
hype
goes from
FC. So you have
it
to be
goes from
ready.
it goes from one to another where you get overhyped or you get overhated. There's nothing there in the middle.
Exactly, exactly. And it comes down to this. Ten Hag said it. It's not just about being the right player. You have to be the right player with the right mentality, with the right attitude. And part of mentality, the mentality test is part of that. Are you gonna be able to survive all being trending on Twitter? Are you gonna resist the urge to check? Or if you check, are you gonna let it affect you mentally? And like, you know, all these things come into play now. It's just like want players that are focused or that know that they are soldiers on the pitch, you know. And hey,
Like
shout out to you, Dan.
I'm even seeing now that Varane's getting hated by the fan base. I think how can you
No way, no way, no way,
like
no way,
they're
bro.
wanting him to go and they want him sold in the summer for timber. I think what? Like you want a player who rejected Manchester United because of the World Cup to get rid of a Champions League winner Varane. And Varane even come out and said that he would retire at Manchester United. The only other place that if he didn't retire at Man United where he would retire at would be Lens because that's his boyhood club.
That's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. That's a Man United. We're so fickle. The fan base is so so fickle, and it needs a little bit of you know, I don't know. Like we have to somehow get rid of the toxic fans because I feel like that's what it comes down to. You know. Well, Man United, not Dr. Phil FC. Exactly. This is not the place to come get your mind right. Your mind has to be right before you set foot in our club, you know. How did you feel about Ten Hag's performance, by the way, in that game? You know, like the in-game management and everything, and the tactics. And were you happy?
I think they were right. I think there was obviously some things that were missing, but I think it's because we're missing on players like Ericsson and Casemiro, which isn't
Mm.
helped. So I
Yeah,
think I'd probably give him B plus probably for his tactics.
yeah. Okay, B plus, and I think that's a fair grade. I mean, he got us the 3 points as well. So it's just one of those things where I'm just happy, and I'm just like, you know, Ten Hag, he is not in danger. He is the
Nobody's
danger.
ever out of danger.
Right, exactly. So all right, let's segue on to the next part of the game. By the way, if you're tuned in, the show is the Football Power Hour. We have Maisy from Devils United, and my name is botswanapapi. We are talking Everton right now. So how are you feeling about Everton, Maisy?
I'd like to say that right. Say for example, Frank Lampard was still in charge. I'd say be like, I'm confident me, but you know what? Right.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
likes the tactics. Nobody likes the shithousery. I don't know
Yeah.
if I was allowed to say that,
No, of course.
but Sean Dyche knows how to scrape points. And this is what the problem is. He will play the 4-4-2. He will play any kind of formation possible. He will play negative football so he can get at least a point out of a game. That is the kind
True.
of manager he is. And
Yeah.
because of Sean Dyche, I'm scared.
Ye- no, no, you're right. You're right. Cause here's the thing. It's one of those things where if you watched how they played versus Tottenham, they just and what he said also, the other thing that he said in the press conference leading up to this game, he's all about instilling the relentless fighting spirit that you know what, no matter what, I think we have a point in this. We have a, we can get a result out of this. And as long as like it's one of those one margin type of goal games, one game margin, we were in trouble. So
It
Sean
says a
Dyche
lot
is,
as well that he gets
yeah.
the 3 points out of Arsenal, who's the current leaders in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just think that I just think for me is that he is. I think he's underappreciated by the Premier League as what he the kind of he's a bit like uh, he's a bit like the Simeone of the Premier League.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if there
yeah, yeah.
wasn't no other top clubs in the Premier League, like if there wasn't like Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Ten Hag, Antonio Conte when he was there, based off how he plays, Sean Dyche, he would be much higher up in the table. And if he actually got the backing as well, like Simeone does, but I think the negative kind of football he plays is the Simeone of the Premier League.
Maisy, I'm sorry, you cooked today. Wow, wow, wow. That analogy is so, so fitting. He is like that is wow, wow, wow. I actually never looked at it that way, but he's a Simeone. He's a Simeone. And the thing about it, like the team mentality is a thing that he excels at, and the players believe in him. And right now, you could see how the fight that they gave Spurs and Michael Keane. Oh my goodness, what a strike from Michael Keane! A long range. Are you who are you feeling threatened by in Everton? In case in the odd chance that they get a result from us.
It's gonna be the Yes Burnley boys, isn't it? Who's gonna get something? Like I
Oh,
think it was the in the Arsenal game. It was Dwight
yeah.
McNeil assist Tarkowski goal.
Damn.
But to be honest, one player who I think it's good that they haven't got the core because he had a red card. I think that's going to help our favour massively because he's been
Mm,
definitely their best midfielder. But I think Seamus Coleman has done well under
mm-hmm.
Sean Dyche. Dwight McNeil's getting a lot more games than what we have seen, and he's doing well as well. So, but I could just feel it like it's going to be like off a corner or something. Everton's just going to score if it's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm,
long free kick or corner. It's one of those things where it's not gonna be a scintillating goal. It's just like if they score, that is in the odd event that they score. But I wanted to also ask you about one of the players that they have who's injured, Dominic Calvert Lewin. Did you ever want him at Man United?
no. For me, I think he is like everyone used to say Mo Salah's a one season wonder. Like
Yeah.
Calvert Lewin is the definition of a one season wonder. Like he had like a good season under Ancelotti. Like
That
Ancelotti, like
season, that's exactly why this question I'm asking you. I was like,
he's
did you fall in that wave or no?
he badly overachieved though at Everton. Let's be honest,
Mhm.
Ancelotti and the plays he got, like James Rodriguez, was great. But the thing is, Calvert Lewin, I've never seen a footballer who's so poor with the feet. Like, if you seen a Calvert Lewin goal, you'd know it'd be off his head because that's the only thing he's good at. He's not good at
Mhm.
anything else. Like, but I think the exact opposite with like Weghorst. Like I've never known a 6 foot guy who's so poor in the air.
He's he's like a Maguire up front, you know. he's, but at least Maguire wins defensive headers. But Weghorst is you know, I feel like his aerial ability is a disability. You know, it's such a crazy conundrum because he has the build, he has the height, and why can you not put those together and use it? You know, and yeah, his heading is poor. I just can't wait for him to leave. As much as it's one of those things where I'll echo what Kush said earlier on. Weghorst can go, you know.
And I echo
So
what Kush said about Dallo.
so, by the way, because Sancho can't wear that United shirt; it's too heavy for him.
I did
Um,
question that in his first season, especially, but no one really like achieved in that first season. So I just thought, oh, it's one of them. And then people's like, is obviously he got sent to the Netherlands, and that was due to mental health. And as much as I think maybe the shirt is definitely too heavy for him, um, I'd probably have to give him one more season. And if he doesn't achieve at that point, he does need to be sold. And we
yeah.
do need to look at much better options. And by the time it gets to that point, Sancho will be 2 years left on his contract. So realistically, as much that's what we signed for Brentford Dortmund, 2 years left on his contract. So we could still get some kind of money out of him for 2 years left.
Yeah, I sincerely hope that that'll be the case because it's one of those things where it just didn't work out. You know, it just
It's a
didn't work out.
shame.
It would have been nice if it did, but it didn't work out. And we have to be ruthless and not be sentimentalists as normally Man United is. And you know, we're gonna keep giving Sancho a few more lifelines until we realize that, oh, it's another Pogba situation reincarnated. You know, in a different way. So you know, yeah, on wrapping up the Calvert Lewin part, Calvert Lewin is now a part time model. Football has become secondary. Oh my goodness, Kush. That is crazy. So I just gotta ask you about your prediction for the Everton game. Because
Oh,
Omo said I predict 2 yellow cards in the first half. Michael Oliver is the referee. How do you think it'll flow slash what's gonna be the score?
I hate Michael Oliver as a ref. Like he seems to be ref so well, apart from when it comes to Man United games. Do you know
Mhm.
what team he supports?
Liverpool. Is
He
he a Liverpool?
supports. He's a Newcastle fan.
He's an oh, makes sense.
He's a
Makes sense.
Newcastle fan, and I'm gonna show you a picture of him.
Okay.
Because it like, do you like obviously like you're seeing like all the Newcastle fans posting pictures of
Yeah.
Dave David Coote
Yeah.
when he first come, like when he was hosting, refereeing the game for the final, and he was like,
Mhm.
he's a Man United fan and stuff like that, and making fake edits. This is a
Mhm.
real picture of
Oh.
Michael. This is a real picture of Michael Oliver,
Oh, no way. No way. No way. That's crazy.
and it's actually come out by the FA. He's a Newcastle fan.
Wow. The bias is real. The bias is there. Oh
And
my
there's
goodness.
the actual picture.
Damn. Wow. 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 Yeah, that's just not good. That's not good for anyone for the Premier League. That's not good. Man, no, Macy, that's not cool.
It does.
This
You
is
know what? Right.
yeah.
He should be banned from refereeing Man United games as well because he hates us.
No, I mean he hates us. You know, the person who always complained about him too was Mourinho, right? I remember when there was a time when Mourinho was just answering every question with Michael. What happened? Blah, 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 blah. Michael Oliver. What happened in the game, Mourinho? What do you think you could have changed? Michael Oliver. Like that was his
Now you
answer.
can see why.
You can see why. And you know, oh man, I'm looking for a certain picture. I want to show you a picture that you might. Like,
Like, do you remember that David Coote picture? It was so fake because it was actually in the Old Trafford pitch. I think how fake could you want to do it? But like that one's a real picture. It's in a pub.
oh my goodness, no, that's insane. Oh man, I can't find the picture. I'll have to share it to you another time. But the main thing is, I am I was gonna just say also the fact that what I want to get your score prediction because you didn't say that for the Everton game. Like, how do you think what the score prediction is gonna be?
1-0 Man United.
You want another 1-0? You think it's gonna be
Do I
1-0?
want do I want a 1-0? No. Do I think it's gonna
Okay.
be 1-0? Yes. Sean Dyche is gonna defend for his life. Like he's gonna
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. The thing about it is, I know for sure they're not gonna win. I mean, not for sure, but like most likely they're not gonna win. I think they haven't won an away game in 12 or something like that. So chances are looking good for us. But the goals, they score 0.8 goals per match. So so we're definitely like things are looking good for us. Like on the clean sheet side, I think David De Gea is gonna obviously have a good performance and probably
I
probably
think
probably
from
have a
what
more
I've read, Pickford
but
has only conceded 4 more goals than De Gea this season. What is
oh
mad to
really?
think about, yeah.
That is mad. That is really really mad. Amazing. I'm so mad I lost the picture that I wanted to show you because why I got distracted. Why I lost that picture is because of the whole Serie A debacle. I guess we'll end the stream by just talking briefly about that. I don't know if you saw what happened to Romelu Lukaku this week. In a game where he pretty much scored a goal, celebrated in a familiar celebration that
Mm.
he always does. It's sort of like a hybrid Rashford, but okay, it's a salute with a shush, And then the thing about the shush celebration is weird because it's controversial. It has been like, say, Maisy, I play FIFA a lot, right? I'd seen it in FIFA. I've done it in FIFA, and I think they removed it from the FIFA of this year, and it's just got a whole lot of controversy around it. And now what happened was, he did that celebration, and there's a whole commotion. He's surrounded by many players, and matter of fact, here's the thing. Let me get the clip because I have it open right here, and let's just look at it, and then I want to just hear what you think about this Serie A nonsense. Look at this. All right. Shout out to David Pina on TikTok giving us this footage. Look at this. We start here with Lukaku about to take a penalty, right? Just want to get rid of the audio just in case.
Is this what everybody was going mad at?
This is what everybody was going crazy about. Look at,
People were sacking off the refs as well for Serie A, I think, for this decision.
yeah. Boom. He scores the penalty, does the celebration, gets surrounded, swamped by players, and now it's a whole commotion. The whole thing is like, oh, you can't do this here in front of our fans. The referee gets involved. They're throwing things. It's a whole drama. And look at what ensues after. Lukaku's walking away. The referee, Quadrado, says he points at Lukaku, and then Lukaku gets the a second yellow, and then a red card.
Yeah, I think that was what people was like off. It's a silly yellow card.
It's a very very silly yellow card, very silly. And then but then I think there was also like a little bit of the like the Syria ended up giving they still kept Lukaku's red card. They gave Quadrado a red card offense and then a fine as well. And oh man, I was looking for the thing here. Oh, there it is. Look at it. Lukaku gets the one match suspension, and then Handovic gets a 1 match suspension and a 10,000 fine. Quadrado 3 game suspension, 10,000 fine, and then then that closing the South grandstand for 1 match. For this is how Serie A tackles racism and racist incidents. Talk about nonsense. That's what happened in Syria today. I'm at a loss for words. I just don't. I'm starting to see now that, like, there's been other players coming in support, like Mbappe and Rashford. Even, I think, he sent out a little support on social media to Romelu Lukaku, and it's something that has happened to him before. And just, I feel like the Serie A and just the football leagues in general are doing very little to protect players against racism and racist remarks. And we have the technology. We are able to kind of, if somebody throws something, a banana peel or something, then you're able to see, you're able to investigate and punish. But like, it seems like, especially in Serie A and La Liga, to be more precise, those incidents get swept under the rug so easily. And I would just want to call it out and say that ain't right. you know
Yeah,
you
there you
know
go.
yeah. Oh, shout out to you, by the way, Devils Rising. It's always a psychotic breakdown with the Derby d'Italia. Yeah. That's madness. Lukaku again, says Snoopy G. Drama with Inter and Juve, Milan thrashing Liverpool. Just the Serie A, though, points wise, is an interesting merry-go-round altogether. Especially that, I mean, Napoli is clear of everybody, but like everybody, all the other Champions League spots over there, is this very interesting competition going on. Anything that you want to close on with, Maisy, before we wrap up the show? You put in your 1-0 prediction, and I'm gonna go with very, very, very strong 3-0. We're gonna give Everton the work. I feel like now it was just a matter of us turning the corner and getting a little bit of momentum, and Ten Hag is on course to finish the season strong. That's my optimistic thought. Go ahead.
My thought now, I'm just going to say, let's beat Sean Simeone.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find her at Devils United. Oh my goodness, that was a killer. Oh, Ruari, thank you also for tuning in and putting in your prediction. 4-1 Martial Brace. Oh, that's even bold. Martial Brace. I mean, he should start, right?
You'd like to think so, but I think if he does start, we probably won't see him again. Let's just be honest, he's giving them physiotherapists a weekly wage.
My goodness, that's harsh, but yeah, I hope he gets a brace. Thank you, everybody,
I
for
do.
that. I'm going with 2-0. Sabitzer double, says Devil Rising. Yeah, Reese, I love it. Mace with the goat analogies. You already know. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I also want to just say thank you, special thank you to my friend Macy. It's been such a pleasure to have you here. You've been here a couple of times, and I hope this keeps on going.
I always love chatting to you. You're a great person.
Oh, thank you, Macy. All right. And to everybody that tuned in, I just want to say thank you to you. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. You can find Macy, by the way, on Twitter as well at _ Devils United. That's her Twitter handle. And make sure you check out on YouTube. I think I put her details on the description for the video. So shout out to you, Ruwari, Reese, Snoop, Kush, General Dan, everybody that made today special. Omo, I appreciate y'all. Eddie, I appreciate y'all so much. One love. I will see you at the happy hour late.